Right, it's 2 minutes after the scheduled start, so let's get going. Welcome everybody to the September 3rd, 2024 SIG Multicluster call. And up first on the agenda is Mike.
Yep, I'm here. Should I get started?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. So the first agenda is on KubeCon China 2024. Just a quick recap. I was not there, but I got a recap summary from my colleagues. So this is gonna be a recap of a recap. So yay, some free picture. KubeCon China 2024, and these a few of my colleagues. And then here are the presentations that they were involved with. The first one being the SIG Multicluster intro and deep dive. And this one is, I think it's a presentation prepared by Jeremy, Hong Kai, and Q Zhang. And I think, I wasn't sure if Jeremy would, made it, but Hong Kai and Q Zhang was presented. In general, in the KubeCon China, there were a lot of interest around multi-clusters, of course, about the AI workload and the workload scheduling between the multi-clusters. So I'm not going to go through all the slides for the on this topic. The slide, it's on the SIG-MC meeting notes, as well as the video links, and all the links are there. So feel free to head over and check it out. So in the SIG-MC deep dive, they cover what's the SIG about, our approaches, API driven approaches. And then the current activity, we gave a shout out to SIG-MC, the website, and then we mentioned about cluster set, namespace sameness, about API, the MCS API, and then we started to get into topic about the building blocks for orchestration. And then we also mentioned cluster inventory and cluster, and specifically the cluster profile API. So again, the slides are shared on the link. And then some of the questions that we got from the panel is, so what's the difference between the cluster API and the cluster inventory API? And we discussed cluster APIs mostly deal with provisioning. Cluster inventory API is more about describing the status of the current cluster. So that is mostly about the SIG presentation, the deep dive. And if you folks want to get involved, and we point them to the website, our Slack channel, the mailing group, as well as our KEP, and how the ongoing KEP about the cluster profile is going, if they want to get involved. Okay, the next topic is a discussion panel about developing the multi-cluster inventory API, or we now, and sub part of it is the cluster profile API. This is more of a discussion panel between folks from Microsoft and Huawei and Qzheng, from Red Hat and other and Xiaohongshu and other companies. So we didn't really have a slide for this one, but it was mostly a discussion panel. But we got, as usual, a lot of questions on how someone can get involved and how someone can contribute to this standard definition. And again, we emphasize, the website is a great place to start, and then as well as the ongoing discussion in the KEP, and then there's also the Slack channel and this meeting as well. And for that particular cluster profile API, there were some consumers of some of the multi-cluster platform providers They're saying, hey, there's already existing API like the cluster profile in those projects, such as OCM and Kamada. Is cluster profile gonna replace them? And then, which means they will have to integrate, um, have to deprecate the existing usage of the multi-cluster platform APIs and use cluster profile. And we told them, no, this is this is just to provide the standardization and the existing APIs specific to those multi-cluster platforms are not being removed. Okay, so that's for this particular topic. And then we move to some other topics such as, yes, so this one, boundary computing, optimizing LLM performance, causing efficient multi-cloud architecture. I think this one is mostly on the OCM and another CNCF project called Fluid about big data processing. And then the next one is connecting the dots towards a unified multi-cluster AI and ML experience. So this one is the integration between OCM, Q, using the cluster profile. So some companies there quite a bit of interest on this project. For example, a company has some on-prem GPU and they need to do some GPU auto scaling, and then yeah, there were quite a bit of interest on this, and the demo was performed on the OCM cube and cluster profile integration. And then the last topic that I'm aware of is the extending Kubernetes to edge using event-based transport. So this I think this OpenShift project. I think the project is called Maestro. So I think Maestro is about transporting Kubernetes resources to target cluster and then getting the resource status back, but not through etcd, because there's so to massively scale it out. I think this leverage the cloud events, and then the status and the resource states are stored in a database, in a relational database. And then and for this topic, there's some questions, about the core differences and then the performance improvements of using this event-driven uh, transport layer instead of the traditional Kubernetes approach. Okay, and then that's basically it. And there's some cool pictures, the discussion panel regarding the central multi-cluster API. And I think this one is the multi-cluster scheduling. So this is the cluster profile cube OCM integration. This one deal with the edge event-based transport again. Oh yes, so this is the event-based transport again. And then the last picture is just an intro to OCM. So that is basically it. So again, I was not there personally, but I got the recap and some additional information that I wanted to share with the communities. And that was it. Overall, it was a I heard it was a great event. A lot of interest around multi-cluster and AI workload scheduling. That's all.
Right, thank you very much. Thanks for the recap. There was one thing that was being worked on, if I remember correctly, with the target of KubeCon, even though you weren't there in the end, and that was a demo to try out credential storage in
Yes.
cluster
Yes.
properties. Yeah.
Yes. So we did. So we did a prototype based on, at that point, where our access info, credential info. So we did do a prototype on that. So that's how the OCM and cluster profile and the cube, we were able to prototype that. So it's based on our ongoing KEP, and we just implement those changes locally, and then we did a presentation on that. So again, if anyone's interested, feel free to check out the presentations. I'm not sure if that one was in English or not, but if there's more interest in that, I can also do a demo of that in the next SIG meeting.
I think I can do a demo in the next SIG
Okay.
meeting. Just haven't synced with the demonstrator during that week. I was move. Yeah, I will put that into the next session agenda.
Thanks. That would be really great. Yeah, because it seems to me that was the sort of litmus test to see if the current proposal makes sense before we merge it into the KEP. So yeah, that would be great. Okay, well, thank you again. And next on the agenda is Jack with an MCS API E2E status updates.
Yes, hello. Real quick, I think we are done with end-to-end tests, and so as far as I can tell, the ball is in Ryan. I don't see him. Oh, Mike. Hi, Mike. Ryan and Mike. Top potato over to you for V1 Alpha 2.
Yeah, yeah, and I saw your comment, Jack, as well, to maybe add a blocker in the graduation to say that we do want a V1 Alpha 2 before a V1 Beta 1.
Yeah, sorry, I've been pulled onto Gateway API stuff for the past several weeks now. So I am actually working on doing this now. I think that once I get the PR up, hopefully today or tomorrow, the real blocker for like community consensus is getting it in front of folks from Karmada. Because right now their docs describe a workflow for manually creating service import resources. Whereas I think we have representatives from Azure, Google, and Red Hat that are all on board with making this change.
I can connect you, or I can actually present this to the Kamada folks like Hongchai. We have regular meetings.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, let's coordinate on doing that then.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, my Gateway API stuff merged, so my plate is now clear to finally finish off this work, and sorry for the delay.
Yep, no worries. And Quentin in the chat says that he had comments on the KEP as well regarding credentials. And yeah, we mustn't forget those. Okay, well, if does anyone else have anything they want to talk about, or should we make it a short one today?
We did put some PRs on the SIG MC website. So Laura, whenever you have a chance, please take a look. Thank you so much.
Roger that.
Quentin, are you asking about the links to the website PRs?
Yeah, if you can send the links, sorry, I missed them. I was curious if they were somewhere.
Okay, I'll post it in the
SIG
channel, Slack channel as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I guess that's it for today. So see you all in 2 weeks' time, and don't forget to review and comment PRs and so on in between meetings. It's always helpful. Have a good rest of the day.
Bye.
Bye.